I want you to imagine something. Imagine a place so run down and desolate, void of all life but the plants that grow wildly within. Even though just 20 years ago, it was a place of thriving business. People from all over would be checked in and become residents, some short term, some long. This is the Indiana State Sanitorium. This place housed three buildings, all connected by means of tunnels and hallways, yet built at different times. Each building served their own purpose. The sanatorium served as the main state hospital during the tuberculosis pandemic. The Allen Bryant Center served as a nursing home after tuberculosis met modern medicine. And Adams Hall served as a 5-tier psychiatric hospital, all of which now sit lost and forgotten, overgrown by nature and crumbling beneath the weight of decay. On top of that, this property sits right center in the Midwest, surrounded by flat fields and tornadoes that appear every so often. It was the early 1900s, and tuberculosis was an ongoing epidemic around the United States. Indiana responded by raising funds for a state-of-the-art treatment facility in 1905 on a 504-acre plot of land outside the town of Rockville, Indiana. Soon enough, work began on this new tuberculosis hospital. By 1911, the new hospital was fully open and running. The hospital included a few amenities such as a chapel, hair salon, rec room, dining hall, smoker's lounge, and even a mini daycare. In the basement, you can find storage rooms, as well as the morgue. By the 1920s, the hospital was expanding, but so was one of the deadliest pandemics known to history: tuberculosis. This disease ravaged the world, and so forth patients were always in need of care. In 1922, the complex added a superintendent's mansion and 2 smaller bungalows. This way, doctors could always be close by, being in such a remote area. Treatments performed in this period were sadly more ineffective than helpful. Many patients came here expecting to die soon after, and many did. But some endured life-threatening treatments and surgeries, such as removing ribs in hopes of curing them. The sanatorium was evolving, but so was science. By 1960, scientists developed streptomycin as a new cure for TB. Within a short few years, the disease receded from a slow death sentence to being completely curable from there on out. The sanatorium operation ceased in 1968, but the property's life was far from over. The complex reopened in 1976 as the Allen Bryant Healthcare Center. New life was given to the property after a purchase by a family of accountants from Chicago, whose father and 2 sons' middle names were Lee, Allen, and Bryant. Under the group's ownership, the facility briefly operated as a large-scale nursing facility. However, the owners encountered issues in patient numbers and were forced to innovate in order to keep their investments profitable. So they found a hospital up north that was a psychiatric ward that was closing and desperately looking for places to place their patients. The Allen Bryant facility agreed to take all their patients from the closing facility. Reopening buildings used to house staff members on campus now served as psychiatric facilities. The town was not happy about this. Those whom were there to spend the end of their days naturally were forced to share the space with psychiatric patients of all ages. Tensions rose and people got hurt, patients and staff. Now, onto the third era of this haunting location. As previously mentioned, Next door, you will find Adams Hall, a 5-story beast of a structure. In the 50s, Adams Hall became a residency for nurses and doctors alike. That is until being used to house psychiatric patients. During its operation, the facility housed mixed male and female patients on the first 2 floors. The 3rd floor served as housing for female patients who could not be around men. The 4th floor for male patients who could not be around women. The 5th floor housed the most violent male patients. But since finding a new purpose, the deaths that would occur here got more and more unnatural. Instead of tuberculosis, there were murders, suicides, traumatic failures of utilities, people who escaped and died in the creek, broke into neighboring houses, or ran out in front of vehicles on the highway. There were multiple incidents of suicide that occurred specifically when patients found access to the rooftop. The Allen Bryant operation ended suddenly and without notice. There were tax problems, malpractice suits, and a lot of wrongful death suits. Their license to practice got pulled. And just like that, it was over. Though all the doors were locked, patients relocated, and the property left to rot, this was not the last time patients or doctors would be seen roaming the halls. After years of natural decay, ghost stories swirled around the old Rockville Hospital. In response to these tales and reports, the property opened to ghost tours and investigations in 2021. Greg Larson, a former engineer, bought the property for the land, but enjoyed the atmosphere of the dilapidated history that came with it, so much so that he began securing the integrity of these structures for future use and exploring. The superintendent's mansion is soon to become a bed and breakfast, where the care facilities were cleaned up and secured for stability. These places may not last forever, but with the efforts put in place to keep it alive, we may just get to see it live out one last era.